Anitimurandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaye Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Prabhajantam Anupeta Apeta Krityam Rapayana Viraha Katara Ajuhava Bhuteti Tan Maitaya Tadavo Vinedus Tam Sarvabhutam Hridayam Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudирayat Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshai Kiptastakamari Taranga Madhye Kripamai Tam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanara Vindam Tave Vasmi Najivami Tvayavina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayanam Charanandike Vancha kalpa tarubhascha kripa sindhu vyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So we are going to continue hearing the Sri Bhajan Rahasya by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and we begin by offering our most humble obeisance under the lotus feet of our beloved Gurus unto Sri Guru Pada Padma Nitya Leda Bhavishta Om Vishnupad Asto Talsat Sri Simad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and unto Sri Guru Pada Padma Nitya Leda Bhavishta Om Vishnupad Asto Talsat Sri Simad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, unto our exalted Rupanuga Guru Varga, all the Sambhu Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So we left off, we finished verse 22 of this first chapter. And we've been hearing progressively scriptural evidence supporting the foundation for Mahaprabhu's first prayer in the Sikshastakam, beginning with Chaito Darpana Marjanam, which progressively lists the sequence of events that occur as one develops in one's chanting, right? And we left off with Anandam Buddhivardhanam, right, where it increases the ocean of transcendental pleasure. So then the next one is Pratipadam Purnamritas Padhanam, text 23, Nam Sankirtan enables one to taste complete nectar at every step. Therefore, the Padma Purana states, oh God, my eyes are, can't even read. Atibhyo namo stubhava varidi jirna panka samagna mokshana vichakshana padukebhya krishneti varna jagalam shavanena jesham anandator bhavati narditaroma vrinda. The devotees whose bodily hairs stand on end and whose hearts tremble with bliss upon hearing the two syllables, Kri and Shna, deliver the living entities engrossed in material existence. Clear-sighted, intelligent persons who desire eternal auspiciousness surrender to the lotus feet of these Rasik Bhaktas. Well, you know, this Bhajan Rahasya I'm finding to be such a boon because, like many, maybe not like you all, but certainly me, my mind has a tendency to wander and linger over the possibility of different kinds of material enjoyment and how wonderful that would be, And then at the same time, my intelligence intervenes a little bit and says, what, are you nuts? Are you kidding? Like chewing the chewed, right? You've done this not only in this lifetime, how many lifetimes? And yet the mind is so strong and it says, oh, be quiet. Leave me in peace. Let me linger on these wonderful possibilities. And then I remember these verses of Bhajan Rahasya speaking to the beauty, the power of the holy name and the ultimate result. We've not experienced it yet. We're only awakening the taste for all of that. I mean, we may only be at the very first stages. Cheto Darpana Marjanam, cleansing the heart. Bhava Maha Davagnir, Nirvapanam, where the fire of material existence is diminishing slowly, right? But even that, very powerful. And regardless, reading these verses, at least at the time of hearing, reading, studying, in association with devotees, and especially if you get to hear the words of as he says here, Rasik Bhaktas, there's great power in that. And in that power comes what? Shraddha. And we've been also hearing how this first yam relates to the cultivation, the development of faith. Right? So faith comes from hearing. It comes from association with sadhus and with acts of devotion. And that gives one the eligibility that one reads and hears something meaningful begins to awaken and stick in the heart. Right? So that we just have to keep this up. And keep these verses, wear them around your neck like garlands. The devotees whose bodily hairs stand on end and whose hearts tremble with bliss upon hearing the two syllables Krishna deliver the living entities engrossed in material existence. Clear-sighted, intelligent persons who desire eternal auspiciousness surrender to the lotus feet of these Rasik Bhaktas. Are we clear-sighted, intelligent? We're trying to be. So we're always looking out for great devotees, great Rasik Bhaktas that we can hear from and serve. So there's a commentary. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also writes 2 verses in Bengali, and Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj says, I offer my repeated obeisance unto the lotus feet of those persons whose bodily hairs stand on end, whose hearts tremble with bliss, and from whose eyes tears flow upon hearing the names of Krishna, or the name of Krishna. Such devotees who are most fortunate and magnanimous are expert in delivering the jivas sunk in the horrible mud of material existence. Right. So, text 24. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, chanting the holy name completely cleanses the self. He quotes Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 12th chapter, verse 48, which says, Sankirtya mano bhagavan ananta shutanubhavo vyasanam hipungsang pravishichitam vidanotya shesham yatatamo riko brahmivativata. Bhagavan Sri Hari himself enters the heart of a devotee who describes his name, form, qualities, pastimes, and so on. Or here's his glories, and he destroys all the darkness of the sins present there. Upon entering the heart of the jiva, Bhagavan destroys his offenses, impediments, duplicity, and material desires, just as the sun drives away darkness or a powerful wind scatters the clouds. This cleanses the mirror-like hearts of those who take shelter of Krishna's name, and very quickly they attain their pure transcendental forms. I was thinking about this morning. I was sitting down preparing to chant my mantras, Gayatri and all, and I was thinking, I've got so many anarthas, so many distractions, I'm going to chant. And then I thought, but this mantras, these are the very things which will destroy them. Let me chant with great attention, praying to the deities of each mantra to relieve me of these offenses, relieve me of these anarthas. We can't do it ourselves. That's the mistake that so many yogis and people who practice other systems, they think by their own efforts that this is going to be accomplished. But actually that that false conception of Purush Bhav, that I am the controller, is what keeps us here, either in gross or subtle change. We have to be absolutely dependent on Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas, and that which they have given us, that which they've left us. They've left us Harinam, right? Mantras. They've left us the beautiful scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam. They've left us information about these beautiful holy places, right? Vrindavan, Radhakund, so many places, Sri Navadvitam. They've given us everything, right? And most of all, they've given their own association and appreciation of who we can and should associate with to help us in this process, and the mood in which we try to associate. Why do we associate? To get pleasure and happiness from such a person? Or are we really trying to cultivate the mood of service to that person? Why do the gopis run after Krishna? It looks like they're running after him for their own pleasure. But again and again, our acharyas describe that they don't have a single aspiration for their own pleasure. They're only seeking to run to Krishna, to dress beautifully, to seek engaging in rasa lila or many other delightful pastimes, simply to give pleasure to Krishna. And yet, we're being gifted with the appreciation of Paramananda, right? This topmost state of consciousness, and we can't help but want that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Jiva Dharma that desire for Paramananda is not an impediment to bhakti. It's not unfavorable for bhakti. It's what transfers our seeking, because we're like tiny parts and parcels. We have the qualities that Krishna has, but in minute degree. And in this realm, we misuse them, our independence. Krishna is supremely independent. That's where we get our inclination. He's also raso vaisaha. He enjoys. We're also seeking to enjoy, but we're seeking to enjoy outside of our constitutional nature. We're trying to be the Purush, right, the Vishaya, rather than the Ashraya. Our greatest happiness will be as the abode of love. And in that state, we actually will get the highest Paramananda, right? The greatest pleasure. So it's not bad to want that if it drives you and pushes you towards bhakti. But always keeping in mind what that highest state is. That's why we read the descriptions of the gopis' motives and hearts, like in Madhya Lila, chapter 8, Ramananda Roy, describing that to Mahaprabhu, and he takes such great pleasure. And such an amazing state that Mahaprabhu comes to taste it himself, right? So, after hearing that verse, I'll read this verse again. Bhagavan Sri Hari himself enters the heart of a devotee who describes his name, form, qualities, pastimes, and so on, or hears his glories. Right? Sadyo hridyavarudate, chakirtibis, shushushabis takshanat, right? But Srimad Bhagavatam, the very beginning. And he destroys all the darkness of the sins present there. He claims us as his own. Upon entering the heart of the jiva, Bhagavan destroys his offenses, impediments, duplicity, and material desires. Ooh, especially the duplicity. Our mind is so tricky, such a rascal. Just as the sun drives away darkness, or a powerful wind scatters the clouds. Sun and wind purify everything. Even a stool field is purified by the sun and wind. Right? This cleanses the mirror-like hearts of those who take shelter of Krishna's name, and very quickly they attain their pure transcendental forms. Oh, their forms. So, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj comments, Bhaktivinoda Thakur again writes verses to describe that in Bengali. And Srila Narayana Maharaj says, the glories of Nam Sankirtan are described in this text. Nam Prabhu enters the heart of the living entity who is performing Nam Sankirtan, destroys all his anarthas, and makes his heart soft and smooth. Not only that, soft and smooth, a wonderful sitting place for the Lord, right? Not like the dirty place that exists there now. Not only that, Nam Sankirtan will also destroy all kinds of anarthas in a person who merely sees or hears Sankirtan. Just as the sun drives away darkness or the wind drives away the clouds. The scriptures state that the jiva's tendency to enjoy will be completely destroyed on the strength of performing Nam Kirtan in the association of devotees. That's important also, right? You don't want to try to be a solitary bhajan anandi. That doesn't mean that when you're chanting japa, to be alone is wrong, but it means when you're performing your bhakti, it's most effectively performed in the company, in the association, in the community of devotees, because that gives reinforcement, conviction, strength, right? At the end of Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 13th chapter, 23rd verse, Sri Vedavyas glorifies Nam Sankirtan. What does Vedavyas say? Remember, he wrote this at the very beginning. He put this into writing at the very beginning. Well, he wrote it just before the Kali Yuga, and it was spoken to by Sutta Goswami to the assembled sages of Naimisharanya just at the beginning of Kali Yuga. So he says, Nama Sankirtanam Jasya Sava Papa Panasanam Pranamo Dukasham Mannas Tam Namami Harim Param. All sins are completely destroyed by the chanting of Bhagavan's names, and all kinds of miseries are relieved by complete surrender to his lotus feet, and by always bowing down to him. I offer my respectful obeisance unto that absolute truth, Sri Hari. Right. All the answers to the questions posed by Shonaka and the sages are here. So chanting, but also in what kind of mood? In a mood of surrender and humility, bowing down to his lotus feet. And what does that mean? Down to the lotus feet. Who is at the lotus feet of Bhagavan? His devotees. You don't just bow down to the Lord, you bow down to those who are dear to the Lord, his associates. If you're practicing bhakti very attentively, chanting, doing so many things, but you have no affection for devotees, no inclination to serve devotees, or even worse, you resent it, you're going to really delay the benefits, right? The quality of an advanced devotee is that they have such respect and affection for devotees. That's one thing. Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Raj, when he came to America, he said that his intention was to, of course, go to all the places that Srila Prabhupada had been and offer respects there to those places, take the dust that he had left at these places, but also to offer respects to the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, which are, in a way, his cousin brothers, because his Guru Maharaj is the god brother of Srila Prabhupada, so he is like a transcendental cousin, much more advanced cousin, but he felt great affection for the disciples and also had a great sense of honor for all the accomplishments that Srila Prabhupada had done and all the service that his disciples had done. And so he wanted to help them, and he wanted to offer respects to them at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. You can't, just by thinking that I may be senior, I may be older, I may be more learned, so I'm the teacher, I'm the boss Vaishnav, right? No. We don't want to be boss Vaishnavas. We want to see even those activities in the mood of service. We're doing those as service to our Guru and to the Vaishnavas. And we want to be grateful for the opportunity for that service. It's not that we deserve to be put on some pedestal by some great opportunity. We're being given the opportunity, opportunity to render this service on behalf of our gurus, right? And therefore, it's described that speaker is very grateful for the audience, because without the audience, it's very difficult, right, to speak. When you have an eager audience, it's like Parikshit Maharaj is very eager, and by his eagerness, Shukadev Goswami was inspired, right? His questions, his enthusiasm created a wonderful environment and atmosphere for the expansion of the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, text 25, the holy name of Krishna, the holy name is Krishna himself, and the sweet embodiment of transcendental mellows, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. In Namastika, verse 8, it is stated, Narada vino jivana sor dormi, shudormi, Niryasa madhuri pura tvam Krishna nama kamam spurame rasane rasena sada. O life of Narad's Veena, O crest jewel, O life of Narada's Veena, O crest jewel of the waves upon the transcendental ocean of nectar, O condensed form of all sweetness, O Krishna Nam, by your own sweet will, may you always appear on my tongue, along with all transcendental ras. Another verse, Jai Shri Sri Radha Radhaman, Jai Shrimati Lalita Shrimati Vishaka Shri Rupa Manjari Shri Bhakti Manjari, Jai Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev. Sri Nam is Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, fully conscious, full of joy and bliss, is a person. So he's saying, you who give joy and life to the Veena of Narad, Narad's Veena is also a conscious being. O crest of the waves upon the transcendental ocean of nectar. O condensed form of sweetness. O Krishna Nam, by your own sweet will, may you always appear on my tongue along with all transcendental ras. May you be pleased. May this be your desire. Please, please, please. Why do we pray like this? Because we are trying to change the direction of our free will, which has been distracted and misguided by association with material nature for so long. Very difficult to turn our own attention away from that proclivity, from identification with the body, the senses, right? Our false ego, our subtle self, and our inclination to just make the body and the mind and intelligence happy. But if we turn towards Krishna, then whatever we thought was wonderful in this world becomes so insignificant. And Sri Nam is the means by which this happens, but he has to be inclined. So by your own sweet will, may you always appear on my tongue along with all transcendental ras. This is what I want. Say it over and over and over. Please, please, please. By your own sweet will, may you appear on my tongue with all transcendental ras. Right? So that when you appear on my tongue, what? Then my chanting will be of the nature of Shuddhanam, and it will give you great pleasure. I want to chant with love. I want to chant with emotion and feeling that when I say your name, it gives you pleasure. Think in this world, right? Anybody can say your name. Hey, so-and-so. Hey, so-and-so. Hey, there's so-and-so. But when a beloved says your name with deep emotion, like a child or something, right, says that name, it stirs the heart. If a couple, a boy and a girl, love each other, and maybe they become husband and wife, but if they speak each other's name with deep love, it has a very different effect, right? So we want to be able to speak and chant with love, right? And be part of this divine group, right? So at any rate, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami gives his Bhajan Rahasya Vritti, he translates Bhaktivinoda Thakur's verse and explains what Rupa Goswami is praying. Because Rupa Goswami, this is Namastika of Rupa Goswami. O life of Narad Muni's Veena, O crest of the waves on the transcendental ocean of nectar, O condensed form of all sweetness, O Krishna Nam, may you always by your own will dance on my tongue with all transcendental ras. May this is my prayer at your lotus feet. That's a very beautiful image, right? The crest of the waves of the transcendental ocean of nectar. If you look at the ocean, it's just all flat. Yeah, it's placid, it's pretty. But when there are beautiful waves coming up, and you see this white foamy crest, right, at the top. You're from Hawaii, you know that. How pretty that is, right? And then if the wind is blowing and a little bit of that crest goes flying into the air, and it's just a very beautiful sight. It makes the ocean even more beautiful. And so he's comparing the holy name to that very special part of the ocean of nectar, right? Condensed form of all sweetness. What's the condensed form of all sweetness for us? Milk is very sweet and nice, but when you boil it and boil it and boil it, it turns into like a kheer, and it becomes even more sweet. And if you keep boiling it more and more and more, it becomes like this condensed milk, very thick, like that Eagle brand condensed milk, right? Used to be the staple of the Sankirtan parties, right? You're feeling down and out, you got no energy, just crack open a can of Eagle brand condensed milk, and of course it's offered, and pour it back, and condensed nectar energize you for the day, right? Holy name, condensed form of all sweetness. So, we just want that holy name, by his own sweet will, to dance on our tongue with transcendental ras. That implies, what is ras? Ras implies the ingredients of ras. The ingredients of ras include the vishaya and the ashraya, tattva, the abode of service, the abode of love, and the object of love, and their exchange, right? So, text 26. The second verse of Nam Astika states, Jaya Namadeya Muni Vrindagaya Janaranjanaya Paramakshara Krite Tvam Anadarad Apimanag Udiritam Nikilogratapa Patilim Vilupasi. These are the words of Sri Rupa Goswami. We want to pay special attention to them. O Harinam, the great sages constantly chant your glories. To delight the devotees, you have appeared in the form of transcendental syllables. All victory unto you. May your excellence forever be splendidly manifest, and may you display it to all. Prabhu, your excellence is such that even if your name is chanted only once and without respect, that is to indicate something else, jokingly and so forth, it completely destroys the most fearsome of sins and even sinful thoughts. Thus, make me surrender to you without fail, and by my remembrance of your power, purify me because I proclaim your glories. It is an amazing verse. Let's read the commentary. In his commentaries, more or less reiterated the verse. It says, O Lord, you have manifested as transcendental syllables, Shabda Bran, for the benefit of the living entities, right? To delight them, right? This is the Lord causes mercy. He's not, they can't hear questions. That it's difficult. They complain to me when I take questions that they can't hear. So save it. And so for the benefit of the living entities, for the delight of the living entities and the devotees, The great Munis and Maharishis always faithfully chant these glories of yours. All victory to the holy name, which destroys all fearsome sufferings, even if chanted indifferently. Oh, Harinam. Okay, so great personalities do this. In this world, this is the natural tendency, right? Yad yada charati shreshtash tatareve tarojana. Whatever leaders do, common people follow. Unfortunately, in the Kali Yuga, the leaders, the cultural leaders, are rascals, demons, degraded personalities. And the example they set is quite abominable. And what they're trying to drag the populace into is a completely destructive lifestyle and destination. This is the forces of Kali Yuga. But the great sages, they are of a different caliber, different quality altogether. And so they chant the glories of the Lord, and the Lord himself, out of his love for devotees, has appeared in the form of transcendental syllables. Not to enforce some religious code to require obedience and surrender, no, to enhance love, right? To delight the devotees, not to chain them, enslave them. You know, so many conceptions of religion are like that, right? People, when they think of modern religion, like look at Islam, right? If you don't abide by the rules, they'll cut off your head, cut off your hand. You know, it's a religion founded on fear and guilt and terror, right? It's not just religion; it's political, and you know, Judeo-Christian Old Testament religion as well. You know, I am avenged, O Lord. I shall smite thee. You know, burn your this, destroy that. Christianity tried to introduce something more like unconditional love and grace, but without really understanding the Lord, his pastimes, and the tattva of the process of religion, it's still very difficult to align yourself with that conception. So we get these verses over and over from the heart of personalities like Rupa Goswami who are bathing in this beauty and sweetness and nectar at every moment. And in their joy, all victory unto you. May your excellence forever be splendidly manifest, and may you display it to all. Victory unto who? That compassionate, loving Lord who's come in the form of his name. Right? Anyone who chants your name with respect, with knowledge, without knowledge, jokingly, what will happen? First of all, their sins will be destroyed. And even their thoughts of sin will gradually be destroyed. And thus, knowing your glories, I want to surrender unto you without fail, without reservation. Right? And by my remembrance of your power, I'm meditating on you, your qualities, your glories, right? Purify me, because I am also proclaiming your glories, right? Like Krishna says, Yat Chata Madgata Prana Bodhyantas Parasparam Katayantas Chamam Nityam Tushanti Cha Ramanti Cha. You know, these great souls, they take great pleasure in enlightening and conversing one another about me. Right? So this is the natural result. So all victory to the holy name, which destroys all fearsome sufferings. Even if chanted indifferently, we don't want to chant it differently, but even that, just to show you the power. Text 27. The Vedas, specifically Rig Veda, 156.3, describe the truth of the holy name, Nam Tattva. Om Itetad Brahmano Nidishtam Nama Yasmad Uchayamana Evasam Sarabayat Tarayati Tasmad Uchate Tara Iti. One who chants Om, which is very close to Brahman, meaning Bhagavan, and which indicates Brahman, is liberated from the fear of material world by this name. Therefore, Om is famous by the name Tarak Brahm, the deliverer. Text 28. Om asya jananto namachid vivaktan mahaste vishno sumatim bhajamahe om tat sat. O Vishnu, all the Vedas appear from your name, which is fully conscious and all illuminating. Your name is the personification of transcendence and supreme bliss, and it is the embodiment of easily obtainable transcendental knowledge. I worship you by thoughtfully performing continuous chanting of your name. What could be more powerful than that statement? All the Vedas, so many people study the Vedas without an idea of its real source, its real object of worship, right? There's so many ways they get sidetracked. But all the Vedas appear from your name, which is fully conscious and all illuminating, right? It will illuminate everything within your heart. Your name is the personification of transcendence and supreme bliss. And it is the embodiment of easily obtainable transcendental knowledge. Wow. Right. So Vrajavadu, right? I worship you by thoughtfully performing continuous chanting of your name. Let's see. How far have we got here? Okay, just another verse here. One more. Tato bhuttivrid omkaro ye vyakta prabhavasvarat yata lingam bhagavato brahmana paramatmana. Sri Bhagavan is imperceptible. He is both undivided and divided. The syllables found in the word Om are his manifestation. And he is manifest in the three forms of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. That's in that last part. Yata lingam, right, that form, Bhagavato, Brahmana, Paramatmana. The three syllables in the Omkara represent the names Hari, Krishna, and Ram. So Aum means Hari, Krishna, and Ram. The name of Hari is non-different from Hari himself. And Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj says, the manifest Brahman, Sri Krishna, is much greater than the unmanifest Brahman and completely independent from it. Parabrahm, Sri Krishna, is always manifest in the three forms of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. The three syllables in the Omkara, A-U-M, represent Hari, Krishna, and Ram respectfully. Sri Hari is non-different from all the names of Hari. His personal form is known as Vachya, that which is nameable. And his transcendental name is known as Vachaka, that which denotes. These two forms fulfill the desires of each and every sadhak. The syllables in the Omkara also have the following meaning. A Krishna, U Sri Radha, the gopis. And the Chandrabindu, the dot over the M, is the jiva. That's our conception. Right? Om, A Krishna, U Radha, gopis. And the dot over it, Om, the jiva, us. Right? So, personal form, Vachya, that which is nameable. Also, Vachaka, that which denotes. And these two forms fulfill the desires of the sadhak. Right? The name, it means Krishna, right? And it gives a name to Krishna. Okay, so we'll just finish this verse and then we'll be on the next page. So, Text 30. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya chapter 23, 76 to 78 states, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhu kahe Kali Lama e Mahamantra, Iha Japa Gya Sabe Korea Nirbanda, Iha Hoite Sava Siddhi Hoi Be Sabar, Savakshana Bala Ite Vidhinahiyar. The Lord said, regularly chant japa of this Maha Mantra. In this way you will attain all perfection. Chant at any time and in any circumstance. There is no other rule for chanting. Right? No hard and fast rules for chanting. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis. Right? That verse. So, Srila Narayan Maharaj says, Srimad Mahaprabhu says that by chanting the Maha Mantra, all bondage will vanish and the jiva will achieve perfection. In other words, he will attain Krishna Prem. Therefore, one should chant the Maha Mantra at all times. One is not required to follow any special rules or regulations to chant it. So we'll stop there. Tomorrow, perhaps we will finish this chapter. I think there's 38 shlokas in this chapter. We've completed 30. So, what did we have here? Oh, wait, let me close this off by saying, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev, all glories to Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all glories to Sri Harinam, right? The sublime, loving benefactor of all of us. Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.